Welcome to Fanbase Sports. Glad to see you again. It is finally here. The playoffs. The 4 teams that got in, as you know by now. Number 1, Alabama. Number 2, Oregon. Number 3, Florida State. And number 4, Ohio State. So let's start with the controversy first. The 2 teams that didn't get in are Baylor and TCU. And here's the reason. TCU, the reason you didn't get in is college recognition. I guarantee you, if Oklahoma was in the same position as TCU, the Big 12 would have had a representative in this game. To me, they're one of the best complete teams in the country. You had one downfall, you lost at Baylor, but I think that Ohio State, in the end, has the recognition that the committee wanted. Baylor, the reason you didn't get in is you did beat TCU, but you beat them at home, and you had a little home cooking. But I don't think that Baylor, you can defeat TCU on a neutral field. And I don't think you could beat any of the top 3 teams that are playing for the national championship, because I think your defense gives up way too many points. You heard my argument about the seedings, but let's deal with the games at hand. You have Alabama versus Ohio State. You have 2 quarterbacks, people, who waited their turn and are getting amazing opportunities. So that's why sometimes you have to wait for your opportunities. But I think that Blake Sims is in better hands to take advantage of his opportunities by Nick Saban's defense and the play calling of Lane Kiffin. If Nick Saban has time to prepare for you, he is virtually unbeatable. But let's look at this game. Nick Saban is 3-2 in the Superdome. But let's look at the tail of the tape. You have Jones, who last week, he was 22 of 44. 44 pass attempts, made 22. No, he had 1 sack against him. He threw for 205 yards, averaged 11 yards per catch. That's great. Jones is a super talent. He does have great weapons around him. That's why he was able to do that. But it's one game. But let's look at Alabama. One of the best coaches ever in football. Second to me, to Bear Bryant, is Nick Saban. But let's look at Blake Sims this year. He's thrown for 3,000 yards. He's had 355 passing attempts with 230 completions. 64% passing. He does have Amari Cooper, by far the best receiver in Division I college football. I think Lane Kiffin has called an amazing season. You have to give Nick this nod because Nick went out and got a coordinator who he believed that could help take him to the next level, because he knows that his defense is superior to me. And the reason I give Alabama the edge is, 1, Nick Saban, and I don't know if Jones has it in him to win 2, so I'm giving the edge to Alabama by 2 touchdowns. This game, to me, is going to be an amazing game. 2 Heisman Trophy winners. Mariota has had an amazing year this year. First of all, he hands down deserves the Heisman Trophy. Who has the better defense? To me, I'm going to give Florida State that edge, even though Florida State secondary is not that great. But their front 7 can get pressure on Mariota. Although Florida State has the better players, here's my hitch. That this is the only team, Florida State, that you can't get behind 3 touchdowns. They not no Louisville. If you behind 3 touchdowns, they will come out and you will be behind 5 touchdowns. This is the only team, Florida State, deserve to be number 1 and smack Mariota in the mouth. If not, he will have a field day on you. So Jameis Winston, you got to control the ball, and you got to stay even or ahead the whole game. You can't give up no big lead to this team. But the score has to stay under 35. Florida State will win the second game. I believe that Florida State University with Jameis Winston has a 35% chance of winning the national championship. I believe Alabama has a 30% chance of winning the national championship. I believe that Oregon has a 20% chance of winning the national championship, and Ohio State 15% chance of winning the national championship. But the next time we talk college football, we will be talking about the national championship game. Next week, we are going to be talking about NFL and who has the best chance of winning the Super Bowl. Again, fans, please come and join us at Fanbase Sports on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, because we need you to help us make the content that you want to see.